Hi everyone.
Very good afternoon, sir. Yeah, so I think we should start now.
Okay.
So students will be joining soon. A very good afternoon to everyone and thank you for joining for today's webinar. First of everything, I, Parul, Assistant Professor at TERI, take this privilege to welcome our dignitaries, the guest and speaker, Mr. Rishabh Ilwadi and Ms. Shilpa Srivastava, our very energetic director, sir, Dr. Sagar Gulati, my respected colleagues and dear students. AWS, Amazon Web Services. I believe that everyone is familiar with this term. AWS is the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud platform, offering over 200 fully featured services from data centers globally. Millions of customers, including the fastest growing startups, largest enterprises, and leading government agencies, are using Amazon Web Services for innumerable applications. And today, through this webinar, we all get an opportunity to learn about this leading technology, and that too by an expert. I would like to introduce our today's presenter, Mr. Rishabh. Um, Mr. Rishabh is a technology professional, keynote speaker, startup enthusiast. He likes to lead teams effectively with a prime focus on performance. He is currently taking care of technology excellence in Central Tech Solutions. Mr. Rishabh is also a founder of Internity Foundation, a non-profit organization working for uplifting India technologically through upliftment of colleges, innovations, and research, startup, and community-based learnings. In Internity, he is currently serving as CEO and is responsible for all-round expansion of the organization. Mr. Rishabh has very rich experience. He has approximately 2 years experience as head of technology in Stantra Tech Solutions, approximately 4 years experience as founder and CEO in Internity Foundation, more than 1 year, 8-month experience as software engineer in Optimus Informatics Inc. Also, he also has been awarded as Optimus Superstar of the Year 2016 for his best performance as a fresher. On the behalf of TERI, I welcome you, sir, and it's my pleasure. It's all our pleasure to have you today with us. So I'm sure the session will be informative to everyone. And if anyone has any question during the session, then please write your question in the chat box or the question box in your Zoom control panel. So without further ado, I request Rishabh sir to please start the session.
Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the invite. Good afternoon, one and all. So welcome to this session on basics of cloud and cloud native development using AWS and career paths with AWS. As ma'am rightly introduced a brief about AWS, I'll go into deep into this session and will give you the different perspectives as to where the industry is heading towards in terms of cloud adoption, in terms of what all people are doing, what all creative they are doing, and what all creative I have done so far using AWS also. I'll share everything with you, okay, and give you the perspective of what all career paths which will open from when you will work on this platform or any other cloud platform for that matter. So you can, during the session, if you have any question, you can put that in the chat box. I'll keep reading that and try to answer everything which is possible in this session of 1.5 hours, which I am with you. And please maintain the decorum during the session and please be with me. Whatever I'll ask, please try to answer it. Just try being communicative enough on the chat box so that I can get that you are getting. Another request that I have before I move further is, I'm sure some of the terms will be very new for you. And there have been various webinars the college would have conducted before that. Various speakers have tried to give you insights on various other technology topics. But I want to keep this webinar a little different than those. So my request is whatever the new word you hear or read in this session, whatever, just go today in the evening and search about it and read about it. Simple. No need to go in detail. Some of the things you may know, some of the things might be new for you. Okay. So this will help you gain the actual knowledge from the session and make the session fruitful for you. So will you be doing it? Just raise your virtual hand or so that I can get. All right. Some of you have raised already. Some of you are typing in the chat window. All right. So I'll keep this chat window open. So if any question comes, I can answer from there. All right. Let's move further. So just to give you my experience and a quick introduction, though ma'am has already given, I've been working as a cloud architect and an entrepreneur from last 5 years almost now, with a total experience of more than 6 years. My startup, Standard Tech, I led it, where I take care of all the technology related initiatives. I led the team startup to become an AWS consulting partner. We have been doing some great work on in and around AWS over there. We've created a team of 10 plus AWS professionals. Now it has moved to 25. Recently, last 6 months, we have expanded very well. Since my college days, I've been a cloud enthusiast. When I'm in third year, I first read about the cloud computing, the word cloud computing, and then I went on, tried getting an internship on cloud. I did that internship, and at the end of the internship, I learned about a platform called OpenStack. OpenStack is an open source cloud platform. It's a software which is available open source. If you install it on a series or in a network of systems, it will make that network turn into a cloud platform in itself. So in short, it helps in establishing the cloud platform. So I uh, learned about OpenStack administration, how to install it, how to utilize it, how to configure it, and cleared this exam, Red Hat certified OpenStack administrator with 100% score at that time, back in 2013. Since then, I've been a certified solution architect on AWS. Microsoft is certified Azure developer, so experience on multiple cloud platforms. Apart from that, I have been enthusiastic and passionate to train students, to contribute them, and started Eternity Foundation and led so many sessions, meetups, trainings, and impacted more than 2,000 students so far. And now that's it about me. So I'll start briefly with what is cloud computing. So I know you must have read these definitions quite a lot. I know you a lot of people already know what is cloud computing, but I will today go into deep of all the words written on this slide. Explain you the how really the cloud platform works, so that it is clear once and forever. Cloud computing involves deploying groups of remote servers and software networks that allows different kinds of data sources be uploaded for real-time processing to generate computing results without the need to store processed data on the cloud. This is the first line which I have mentioned. What does it mean? It means there is a group of remote server, there is a group of systems, machines, as if your college lab. There's a group of remote servers which are kept somewhere in a different geography, which is far away from here. In that, we have installed some softwares so that we have created that entire network as if it is one system, as if it is one system, as if it behaves as one data source from where we can upload our data, where we can generate real-time processing, computing, and above all, there is no need to store the process data over there. You can get that data with you. In short, I'll explain in Hindi also about this. ऐसे कुछ systems को, कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर नेटवर्क और systems को हम लोगों ने क्लब करा, उसके ऊपर कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल करे, जिससे कि वो पूरे के पूरे 10, 20, 50, 100 सिस्टम्स जो थे, 100 सिस्टम इंक्लूडिंग उनकी प्रोसेसर, उनकी रैम, उनकी हार्ड ड्राइव, started behaving as one system. और उसके ऊपर हम लोगों ने उसको ब्रेक करा फर्दर, और वो कैपेसिटी हमने यूजर्स को देनी शुरू करी फॉर रियल टाइम प्रोसेसिंग एंड रियल टाइम कंप्यूटिंग. रियल टाइम प्रोसेसिंग एंड रियल टाइम कंप्यूटिंग आपको आपके लैपटॉप पे भी मिलती है. आप उस पर भी कुछ चलाओगे, वो चलेगा, वैसे ही चलेगा. योर लैपटॉप इज ऑल्सो लाइक अ क्लाउड. आपका और आपके फ्रेंड का लैपटॉप अगर एक नेटवर्क में है, दैट कैन ऑल्सो बी कॉल्ड एज अ क्लाउड. द ओनली थिंग इज these both systems should start behaving as if they are one system. उसमें कल को मैं थर्ड सिस्टम भी, थर्ड एक लैपटॉप लगा दूं, वो तीन मिला के एक वन सिस्टम बन जाए. फोर्थ लगा दूं, वो चार मिला के एक वन सिस्टम बन जाए. That is what actually a cloud is. I'll go back to the history also, as to why the cloud computing came into picture. It is no new concept. It is nothing new which is there. It is just a new way of doing and achieving things which were already invented. So the computers were invented back in 1980s when we started these DOS and other OS which started coming into picture. Then the internet came into picture. Then remote applications started. Some of the people started hosting their web applications on the cloud. Some data centers started getting established. Now, in early 2000s, there came a need that in order to make everything, in order to work, on the cloud, or in order to make everything on IT driven, हमारे businesses जितने हैं, like banking है, insurance है, there are various core sectors also, there are various businesses. In order to make them IT driven, and looking at the population which will use them, how big the server sizes will be required. That became a problem in early 2000s. In the 21st century when we entered, so that the more adoption, in order to make more adoption of the technology, we needed more computing power to be available. And cost of having a server, setting up a lab, maintaining it is way too high. You need uninterrupted power supply, everything is required. There was a concept of grid and clusters which was already there in terms of networking. If you have read software networking, you would have read this. Then what made this term cloud came? When we actually made these servers, these set of servers behave as if they are one system using some software setups, which are already the properties of operating system. we started using them as one system, and it got expanded to an extent that any any system you can on any hard drive or RAM or uh, processor you can add on the fly, you can remove on the fly. The system on the front will look like the same. Some of these concepts which are used under the scenes are virtualization, logical volume management, virtual memory. These are all operating system concepts. And these are the only core concepts which actually form the cloud. Now, the goal of cloud computing is to allow users to take benefit from all the existing technologies. As I told, all these were existing technologies, all these were operating system properties. Software defined networking, virtualization, virtual memory, then logical volume management. If somebody has used Linux, they must be knowing what a LVM is, logical volume management is. All these are, and then there are various servers which are available on Linux. All the remote server RDP, the uh, SSH server for connecting to a remote system. All these were systems which were available way back. They were utilized in a different form, in a newer concept to make that all the data which is available, all the data source which is available behave as one system. One example of it is, you all have you in your college lab, there must be a shared storage drive wherein you copy one folder on that drive and you go on another system and you can copy that folder from there to your system. Is it there or not? Have you seen that? Raise your hand if you have seen that, or put it in chat if somebody has seen that. वो शेयर ड्राइव आप लोगों ने कॉलेज की लैब में अगर यूज करा हो, या कहीं पे भी आपने एक नेटवर्क में आपने देखा हो, एक शेयर्ड फोल्डर होता है जहाँ पे आपने अपना फाइल या फोल्डर डाला और आप दूसरे सिस्टम पे गए जो नेटवर्क में है और वहां से कॉपी करा और उस सिस्टम पे ले आए. If you have seen that, raise your hand or put in the chat window that you have seen. Google Drive, that's not a Google Drive, but I'll come. I'm talking about the college drive on a private network. See, this drive, shared drive concept is not new. This is even before the cloud. 1995, 96, 98 जब नेटवर्किंग स्टार्ट हुआ, 2000, 2002, 2005, तब से ये चला रहा है. एक शेयर ड्राइव बना दो सर्वर पे, वो सारे नेटवर्क के सिस्टम्स एक्सेस कर लेंगे और उसमें उसका यूज करके अपने डेटा को कहीं पे भी किसी मशीन पे वो कॉपी कर सकते हैं. This is not new. If you have not done it, you may see it in the college lab when you go. It may take time, or you can read about it. The core concept behind those is there is a server called Samba server or NFS, network file storage. The concept is called network file storage. It's a core concept. And the same concept is used widely, and we call it as cloud storage nowadays, where we copy file we can access from anywhere. Which was there in the private network is used in the public network available to you as different offerings: OneDrive, Google Drive, SkyDrive, Dropbox, this, that, your MI Cloud, your Apple iCloud. Different phones you are using, they get synced. where they sync your data with their cloud platform. Or what is that? It's a shared storage. Wherein if you change the device, you can get your data back. The concept remains the same. It is an existing technology, but used in a different manner without the need for deep knowledge about or expertise with each one of them. You don't need a deep knowledge or expertise of these concepts, but you just need to know them. The cloud aims to cut costs and help the user focus on their core business instead of being impeded by IT obstacles, which primarily includes administration and provisioning of resources. The main aim of cloud was, why not set up all this infrastructure, all this management, why not taken by some cloud platform which is scalable, which is taking care of all the resources, administration, and everything. Whereas the different businesses who want to use it, they can take those services on rent from them. They can use the pay as you go model. They don't have to worry about how it is being managed. That that actually reduce the problem of IT obstacles, the problem of IT obstacles, which was a major hindrance for the businesses. At that time, when banking became online, each and every bank has to set up their own data center, maintain their own data center, hire a team for doing that. Special team. They have to take care of all the cooling, uninterrupted power supply, everything. Back in those days when there was so much of power crisis and those things were there. All this has been taken away. Somebody else is taking care for you. You just don't have to worry. You just have to focus on your core business or your core business application which you are creating. All that will be taken care by someone else. Now that takes us to the point why cloud is important. As I told, it reduces infrastructure management and expansion cost. You don't have to worry about infrastructure management or expansion. Somebody else from where you are taking those services is doing that for you. Just have to pay what you are using. Now that allows you to achieve business scalability. You have seen online shopping websites, then these Netflix, these Amazon Prime, these Hotstar, how scalable these applications are, and then various others. Keep on scaling them. There is no blocker for them. How many of you have streamed IPL on Hotstar and faced streaming issues? Or on Netflix, you are watching movie and you face streaming issues? It's very rare. How many times you've seen Twitter getting down, or Facebook getting down, or Google getting down? Once or twice in a year, and people keep on using them throughout the day. Like now, the Zoom calls. When this entire COVID came, everything came online. Zoom was earlier a smaller setup. They scaled it very quickly. Now it is the most trusted online platform for meetings and everything. Have you noticed how many different features Zoom brought in last 1 year? Nothing was there. These polls, Q&A, these things, nothing was there on Zoom 1.5 years back. We don't face any challenge with these online calls, online meetings. Now, what is there underneath it which is working? There's no worry about this infrastructure management and expansion. Focus on this business scalability, elasticity, and easy to manage. Now the Zoom team has to just launch features. They don't have to worry about it. They are paying already to the cloud platform and configuring it. Simple. What they are worrying is this, and they have achieved it. And they are only giving this pay as you go. Any questions so far? Anyone? Yes, Samsung Cloud Storage was also there, one of them. Anyone, any questions? If you have, you can type in the chat. All right, I'll move further. If you have any question, you can type in the chat. I'll ask. I'll answer. Okay. So, all right. Next is cloud service models. You would have heard these terms, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service. These terms are quite common. Now, what does that mean? Infrastructure as a service. You have taken taxi as a service on rent, cabs on rent. You've taken a lot of things on rent as a service. Somebody is providing you cars on service, bikes on service. But what if somebody starts providing you infrastructure as a service? It becomes a cloud service model. Somebody has provided you home as a service on rent. Some part of building is provided on rent, not the or you would have rented the entire building. Similarly, on cloud, you can rent an entire data center. I'll come to this for your query. Okay, you can make it with an education mail. You're right. You can get the account for free for student. At the same time, there is a free tier already there. Okay, I'll tell you how to avail that. You just have to add your debit card. There will be a ₹2 transaction, and then there is a free tier available for 1 year. You can use that also. And then there are various other links which I'll share after the session with you for availing this free discount for students. Okay. This is one topic which I'll cover in the later half of the section. Then if somebody is providing you cloud infra, what is cloud infra? It is OS, RAM, processor, storage, हार्ड ड्राइव. एक कंप्यूटर मशीन को चलाने के लिए इस 4 मेन कंपोनेंट्स हैं. अगर कोई आपको वो एज अ सर्विस प्रोवाइड करने लग जाए, then what it is called infrastructure as a service. Now this is provided to you through the virtual machines which run on cloud. Have you used any VMware or Oracle VM VirtualBox and set up virtual machine on your OS, on your laptop? If you have done, you can raise your hand or put in chat. If you have installed some other operating system on VirtualBox or VMware on your laptop. Hello? Nobody? Okay. Okay, great. The VMware and VirtualBox are again before cloud. There are concept, they use a concept called virtualization. The similar concept is being used on the cloud. It is used for providing you the virtual machines which are running on a remote server, remote system. Somebody is running on their uh, system somewhere in US or any other country where the data center is, and you are accessing it through your machine as if you are accessing VM on your laptop. Infrastructure as a service. Then next is platform as a service. This is something which is very common these days. When someone starts providing you a platform where you don't need to worry about the necessary things, it becomes where you can host your entire application, and they are managing all the infrastructure requirement for that. That is an example of platform as a service. If you have heard the term called Docker or containers, what AWS is doing is it starts providing a platform for running the application inside containers. Or AWS says you create your machine learning model and deploy it on my service called SageMaker. Simple. You just have to worry about creating the data set and writing the scripts and deploy it on SageMaker. Rest everything for infrastructure and all the environment needed to run that I'll provide. That is an example of platform as a service. Or database. Your application is running on MySQL database. For installing database on your laptop, you need to install MySQL on your laptop. Now, what if you get some machine which is already installed with MySQL and you don't have to run that machine, you just have to connect to the database to use it. You can directly install, use that link to connect. That is a service which gives you database as a service. It's again a platform as a service. Or a NoSQL database. You can just go to the cloud platform, create a table and start inserting data and start querying. Platform as a service. Or sending notifications or sending emails. Platform as a service. All are examples. Software as a service. When you start accessing some software through a cloud platform. If you have used Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, which I am right now using, a software accessed through cloud over the internet. Again, software as a service. Similarly, network is a service. Network, when you can set up your entire cloud, private cloud network or a public cloud network over a cloud platform, your own network. Like if TCS is setting its own cloud or Infosys is setting its own cloud, over TCS, they can use this network as a service. They can set up a network of private, uh, privately networked machines. They can create a network over already existing cloud platform. Network as a service. I'll explain all this when I'll show you the different services. Now, there are 4 common cloud deployment models. One is private cloud, second is public cloud, third is hybrid cloud, and fourth is community cloud. Private cloud is something which is running on a private network. Like a bank is using a private cloud network only for banking for their internal purpose, their internal application, because they wanted security. Those applications can't be accessed outside their network. That is an example of private cloud. Public cloud, something which is publicly accessible, like AWS or Azure, where you can access your resources. You can build your resources. Public cloud. Hybrid cloud, something which provides you the facility to where some part is publicly available and some part is privately available. A hybrid cloud. Community cloud is more of an example of hybrid cloud and plus private cloud, where some communities, some non-profit communities or some college, some education institutions or some government uh, organizations can request for their own cloud network. So this is a specific setup for a community, which is for a specific purpose, like college can use for education purposes, or a government is using for its own agency. So these are very less common, but it's another cloud deployment model. Now coming to the AWS, one of the biggest cloud platform in the world and one of the first, which made this cloud word popular. Now it's a comprehensive evolving cloud computing platform provided by Amazon. It provides you a mix of infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and package software as a service offering. So primarily, the services which are available on AWS are of three categories: either infrastructure as a service, or platform, or package software as a service offerings. Now this is interesting. It was launched in 2006 as an from the internal infrastructure that Amazon.com built to handle its online retail operations. Now Amazon.com is the biggest e-commerce provider we all know back in US. Back in 2002-2003, Amazon.com started facing scalability issues because their business was expanding in the e-commerce industry. Now what they did is they started creating a software driven infrastructure management tool where they started creating different virtual machines on their infrastructure which can scale in and scale out as per the need. And each virtual machine will be running a copy of the Amazon application so that they don't face the scalability issues which they were facing, and at the same time maintain the cost. Now it worked very well for them, and later on what they did is they actually said that we have built so much infrastructure right now to handle Amazon.com that we have the capacity available where we can start giving it to the other startups which are happening in back in US, other businesses also who want to host their application, and they launched it commercially as Amazon Web Services. The entire thing which they use to optimize their infrastructure management in Amazon, they started it as a new business called Amazon Web Services. And who knew that what they are just starting, what they just did for their internal infrastructure will become a bigger application than Amazon.com. Now, it's one of the first companies to introduce pay-as-you-go cloud computing model that scales to provide users with compute, storage, or throughput as needed, and is still a market leader. Now, AWS got launched in 2006, and by 2010, it was very stable. Some of its core services were very stable, and the next cloud platform which got launched was Microsoft Azure, and it got launched in 2010, 4 years after AWS. It was so, until that time AWS was already a big cloud platform in the market. Now I'll come to the services, but before that I have some facts which may surprise you. Have you heard that in 1/3 of the internet's traffic, almost 1/3, used to pass through Amazon servers? There was a survey happened in 2014 which reported this. 1/3 of the internet's traffic passes through Amazon servers. 33% almost. That big, it has captured that much market. Some of the renowned services. Now this list is increasing. Every 3 months they launch some new services. Now it has gone to more than 200. And each and every service is being adopted. Each and every service. Now these are the services which I have used in different applications. And the list is endless. It's increasing day by day. But the core services, I'll introduce you to the core services are these three. EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. S3, Simple Storage Services. VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. These three are the core services, and all other services are in some way using these three services. EC2 is the service which provides you the virtual machines for running your applications. S3 is the storage service by AWS. Now, you might have not heard about S3. How many of you heard about S3 before? You have heard? In the storage space, it is not that popular because there are various cloud storage services which are already popular, right? Google Drive, then Dropbox, then uh, SkyDrive, then OneDrive. These are very popular services on storage, right? S3 is not that popular. But let me tell you one important fact. S3, do you know Dropbox? Have you used Dropbox? Do you know Dropbox doesn't have its own storage servers? Dropbox का अपना कोई भी storage server नहीं है. It's just a marketing firm which is providing you different plans and subscription to store your data only. Now, where is it keeping its data? Here, S3. Dropbox the underlying service, the underlying cloud platform, which is used by Dropbox is S3. GitHub, how many of you have used GitHub for keeping your code base? Or seen GitHub where we can keep our code? All the code base, which is all the repositories which are getting created and all the files which you are checking in to GitHub are kept here, and other Git based platforms also like Bitbucket or GitLab, etc. All are based on storing their data on S3. Now, you can build your own. How many of you are in final year or going in final year? You can take this as your final year project. Build your own Dropbox or Google Drive. What you just need to do is to provide a web console where you can upload your files, where you can provide the feature to upload files, and those files you can call the AWS SDK function to upload it. It's very, very simple. It's not complex. And you can claim in your college that you have built a cloud native application, something which is built over cloud, some application which is built over cloud, a very interesting project. Build your own Google Drive. There's a SDK available. If you know Python, the SDK name is Boto 3. If you use Java, AWS SDK is there. In that, there are different functions of S3. You just have to read the documentation and build your own application. Now, Route 53 is a DNS service, just like GoDaddy from AWS. Then ECS Elastic Container Services, where you can run your containerized application. There's a new concept called containers or Docker, wherein all the softwares which application requires to run, like a Java application requires Java 8 plus Tomcat plus different other uh, software systems. What Docker does is it provides you a configuration file where you can write all the system softwares which your application requires. That is called Docker file. You just create that Docker file. From that Docker file, create a Docker image and run it anywhere. You just don't have to worry about installing those softwares again and again, setting up your server again and again. Docker does that for you. You just have to provide that in a configuration file. Now, running those Docker images, you can run Docker images on ECS directly. Just upload the container, configure it. You don't have to worry about logging into the server or doing anything. Everything, it's a platform as a service. Similarly, RDS, Relational Database Service, where you can create your Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Postgres databases, which the application can directly use and directly connect. DynamoDB, one of the most popular AWS servers these days. It's a NoSQL database where you can directly go and create your table, start saving data, and perform different operations. It's a real-time database. Okay. Lambda, one of the most popular concept these days of serverless computing. It's a Lambda function where you can write your script, run your script, and it only uses computation till the time it is running. One call, pay as you hit. It is a new concept. Like for every request and response going, till the time the server runs, you pay for that. And the server runs till the time a request is not processed. For each request, a new copy of the server runs. Again, a new concept. And for you, it appears as if there is no server. CloudWatch is a monitoring service. SQS is queue service. At times when there is a lot of data coming and flowing, we have to put the queues into picture. IoT Core is an IoT listener used to build IoT-based applications, where all the devices, IoT like your AC or different other devices which you want to connect to your IoT application or build a smart application, start sending their data to the cloud platform, the cloud listener. So those devices are cloud connected through IoT Core. Kindness is again a big data service, SageMaker for machine learning models these days, very popular. Code pipeline, code build, code deploy, code commit are AWS services for the configuration management, CI/CD, automatic deployments. This is being used in the industry quite a lot these days. These are concepts of DevOps, development and operations. Another popular field where you can target your career. It's very required because these days managing cloud in itself is a challenge. So people have started script writing automated scripts for creating cloud setups, creating cloud architecture, managing them. So those are the work of DevOps engineers. A high demand area. CloudTrail for logs, wherein if you have to debug your application, you go to CloudTrail, check the logs, where if there is an exception or not. Then different other services, SNS, SES for emails and notification, Elasticsearch. If you have to build something full text search, which is elastic in nature, as if the data once written is immediately available. It's another NoSQL based real-time database. Alexa services. If you have to use Alexa, Amazon Alexa for some application. So the backend services of Alexa, if you want to access, use it in your application. So Alexa services is there for that. For voice recognition based applications. So all that is being used these days quite a lot. Now, with all these services, all this is possible. I don't have to uh, say much because we have been using it. We have seen it: FIFA World Cups, IPL, online TV series, easy cab bookings, online learning platforms, big billion day sales, ticketing, tweets, posts, photo sharing, everything. New startups, day by day, they are getting popular. Online payments getting more and more popular, more and more fast. Different services reaching to you more fastly, thanks to the infrastructure being provided by cloud. So I'll show you one demo where we'll deploy some code, some Hello World website on an EC2 virtual machine. Okay, uh, where you can see and access your virtual machine and try a website, and later on replace that website with a different thing, different application which you have. Before that, any doubts you have so far? Before I move further, if you have any doubts, put on the chat window. Or shall I proceed? Anyone, any questions? So all right, I'll move further. One minute. Now is my screen visible? If you have a doubt, you can ask in the chat window. So this is the AWS console. It is accessible from aws.amazon.com. Now for sign up, you need to click on sign into the console. I'll show you the entire process in a different browser because I've already logged in to my account from there. You get an option for create an AWS account, the first place. Simple, type your IP or email ID, which can be use this. Type your password. Right. It asks uh, what you want to, how do you want to use. You can mention personal, you can mention your details, phone number, country India. Yes. Then third is the billing information. Enter your card details. Yes, it will deduct the balance if you use more services, but try using the free tier services. It says, and the INR2 which it will deduct, it will be refunded back 3 to 5 days. 2 rupees it will deduct, and it will return you back after 2 to 3 days in your account. So add your card details and start using it. Simple. Simple step, simple process. Sign up into your account, or you can use the education account. If you have it, you have credits available, you can use that also. Like we have we have our own account as education account only. If I show you, it's not education, it's a Elevate account, business account, where we have the startup credits available with us. You see, we have some $3,712 of credits available with us, so we don't get charged much till the time we have these credits with us. We won't be charged. This is from AWS which we got. Yes, if you don't make the payment, then they will suspend. If there is a bill and you don't make a payment, even if it is of 2 rupees or 3 rupees or 10 rupees or 15 rupees, you don't make a payment, it will suspend. But the education account, you may get some credits. So don't play with this account. This is a professional purpose software, so don't play with it. Use it very responsibly. Now, if I show you, these are the different set of services. See this, all services. See the list. It's not even. Can you see that? How many services are there? Recently, in one of the application, what we are using is extract and transcribe. We are using and translate for translating into different languages. Recognition for image recognition. What we are doing is any form of data, any writing, if it is handwritten, we are extracting all the text from it and performing some data analytics operation. This is one of the recent project which we are doing. You see anything, there is a service available which you can directly use into the cloud platform. Now, the most common service is EC2. Then there are different other services, S3 for storage. See, for mining, again, there is no best case or worst case. Okay, you can use the service which is there, but for specific features, for specific data mining features, or depends on what kind of mining you want to do, there is a service available. Okay, and the more specific service you'll use, the more you'll be charged. Remember, because uh, nothing is for free in the world. Now, EC2 and S3 are the most basic services. All other services are derived from it, or internally somewhere or the other they are using it. Okay, so I'll show you how we can host a website on EC2 in the interest of time. Okay, we'll create a basic instance to start with. Assuming right now I'm hosting a website, if you want to do something else, if you want to host some other application, you can host some other application also. Simple free tier eligible selected. T2 micro, one virtual CPU core and 1 GB RAM. I'll select configure instance details. All right. Next, add storage. I'll add 8 GB storage. No need to add tag. Security group. Now this is a firewall. Okay. How many from which port and which IP you want the traffic from? Like I want HTTP traffic on port 80 also. So I've added port 80 here to be open for traffic. Not all ports are open. Okay. And I've added from anywhere in the world, you can access the server through port 80. Review and launch it. Now I'll create a new key pair. Now here we don't get passwords to log in. We get key pairs. I'll rename as our test demo and I'll download the key pair. It is very, very important that you keep this file with you. You copy it and I'll paste it. Now all these files, if you see, are the different key pair files which are there on AWS or any other cloud platform, the servers. Okay, now I'll simply click on launch instance. This is the most basic thing you can do on cloud. Now what it will do is it will create a VM. Once it will be ready, we'll be able to start accessing it. Any questions so far? Anyone? Now the status checks are going on. Once the status checks are passed, we can then connect to the instance. So there is a limitation. There are service quotas which are there. From student account, I am not clear what is the quota, but at a time you can, I think, have earlier it was 24. Right now, I need to check what is the quota available. You can request for more service quotas available on your account. but there is a limit per region how many VMs you can create. Okay, and what is the compute power? Now, if you see, this is one important concept on AWS. One more thing called regions. Now, AWS all regions have different data centers. Like right now, I'm connected to Singapore region. I can get connected to Mumbai region also. So my VM which I'm creating right now is being launched in the Singapore region. I can launch it in Mumbai region. I can launch it in anywhere in the world. But as a recommendation, access the nearest one to you. Let's wait. All right, it is now launched. To status checks are passed. Now here you got the IP also. Now what we'll do, we have to connect it. So we have this PEM file in Windows. You need some a tool called putty to connect. Before that, you need putty gen to generate the PPK file. So what I'll do is I'll load this PEM file. The PPK is created. Putty private key. I'll go to putty PUTTY. I'll copy the IP from here, which I want to connect. We are connecting using SSH, secure shell. Now, this is a Linux instance, so we'll get only the command prompt. Since we are connecting a server, it's recommended that you use through command prompts instead of GUIs. That saves the computing power. Now I am logged into it. So this is my cloud platform. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll install Apache web server on this. Now I'll go to where www HTML. Apache web server is a web server which runs or which allows to access web pages on port 80. I'll this here there is no file. What I'll do is I'll create index.html file. For now, you can have the entire web application. This is just a small demo. I'll save this file, and what I'll do is I'll start the HTTPD, and I'll copy this IP, paste it, see hello. My web page is being served. Now I'll change it. Reload it. Now, in similar fashion, you can host all your entire web applications in this. It will start working. Okay. A simple virtual machine available. Then there are different services which you can connect your application with. You can connect with a database. hosted on RDS, like right now in one of the projects which I am using. See, there is one database instance which we are already running. It shows how many active connections are there. In order to connect to it, you just need to have this endpoint port as if you have used Java and JDBC. Endpoint port, username, password, and the database name. Everything will start working. Then S3 bucket, I'll show you. You can host your static website on S3 bucket also. There is a bucket test.startability.com. I'll see whether this domain is now accessible or not. Yes, it is there. See, there is a website which got accessed. The website code is only just kept here in this bucket. There is a proper configuration in this where we can create a bucket publicly accessible, and we can use it to host a website and map this in the domain. You can access a website, the entire website through S3 bucket storage. All these are files which are stored in this. 10 objects are stored. Then I can add different other files in this to have my, I can go and create a bucket. Inside each bucket, I can create a folder. Each bucket is like a new cloud drive, or a new Google Drive kind of. In this, I can add folders. Inside folders, I can add data. I can upload files from here. Anything I want to upload. Add file. Let's suppose I want to upload this. Uploaded it. The file is kept here, which I can leave. Oh, I forgot to upload. Is that the thing? Click on upload. Go. Copy this object URL. See, access denied. Right now, I can't access it publicly. Now, if the bucket is public, I can access it. So this is another object storage similar to Google Drive, which can even host a website also. Now, in similar fashion, different services are being used. There is a chatbot also. There are similar services being used to create the entire applications. Show you one document for your interest, which we are right now using. This is a project which we are right now building using AWS, how we are using the services. The data engineering component. The data will come in different PDF forms. It will come here where we'll run some batch jobs written in Python. From here, the data will go to S3 bucket. On each S3 bucket, this file, there is a file. On each file, we'll perform some enrichment operation through text extract. there is a service in AWS which I told you to extract. We'll extract the data and save the extracted data here in the final file. From here, we'll analyze, perform some operations in another service called Athena and save it in the another database finally. From this database, we'll show it on a web app in a form of some dashboards. Now the web app, a developer is working, checking in the code from code build code pipeline. It is getting deployed into ECS containers and accessed by users through load balancer and different things. Now see how many AWS services we are used. I know it may be complex to understand right now, but if I click on this link, this is the how the web app is right now, the simple dashboard which we created. Right now there is no data, so it won't come. There is an API which we created also, which we can access. Right now, since there is no data, so it is breaking. So that is something which how people are using AWS. One small example, how complex problems, how these startups are being built. So the core behind this product which we are building right now is there are different kinds of data, population data, health data, uh, consumption data, resources, agriculture, different data being available online in some form of PDFs, something. Extracting those PDFs and converting them into reports on daily basis, building real-time dashboards, something like which is in these days you're seeing this worldometer is doing, and providing all all these dashboards and reports in a subscription-based manner to different users. So that is the core concept behind this application. Now the last part of today, the career paths. If you actually want to learn cloud, if you actually want to make your career in cloud, in some way or the other, when you guys will enter into the industry, cloud will become a necessity. It's like a OS which you have to know. You have to know how to work on a operating system. You have to know how to work on a cloud. It is a necessity skill, and it is becoming with with the passage of time, because almost every product is being hosted on cloud. So somewhere or the other, you need to know some basic concepts. Now, specifically in the cloud area, there are three set of career pathways. First is the AWS administrator, which is a less popular, less paid job where you are responsible for managing, set up all the and configure all cloud environments. Now this was a manual job. Now this has been taken out by the DevOps professionals through automated scripts. So the industry is requiring a lot of DevOps professionals for automatic build releases or for automatic rollback and different standards which are being adopted for bigger applications, for auto scaling, everything, for managing the load which is coming. So DevOps is one area where uh, not much of programming is required, programming mindset, logic is required, but understanding of how infrastructure is required, how applications work, and then configuring them, managing the configuration and writing scripts to do that is one of the most high demand skill right now in the industry. Then cloud native developer. This is the next gen development positions which are opening. Now a lot of people, a lot of companies are requiring cloud native developers, people who know a programming language and side by side know how to work on cloud services to get the best. Like right now, I showed you one use case. Here we are using different cloud services, and we are using calling those cloud services in our programs. Now, if we don't know these cloud services, we won't be able to build the requirement that is there from the customer. So this becomes a cloud native application where everything which we are doing is dependent on some cloud services or the other. Now the next generation applications are being formed by which are directly taking benefits of these cloud native services. So it is another development related uh, position which is there, career pathway. Here you need to know the cloud and how to use the cloud services in your application or code base. This is the primary role of a cloud native developer. That's it. You can contact me for any doubts, anything you have, uh, anything you want to ask, or you can follow Eternity on different channels uh, through different media. Before I close, if you have any questions, you can ask me those questions in the chat window and fill the feedback form. You can provide your feedback, which will be shared to you. I think to share to all panelists, I'll share to all of you. So that's it from my side. Anything you want to ask, you can ask. In 1.5 hours, I tried to cover maximum which I can, which is available. I tried to provide you the maximum possible information. Now it is up to you how you take it, how you adopt it, and as said, a lot of things might be new for you. They were new for me when I was in college also. But take this practice, start reading about things which you heard today, the terms which you heard today, and start doing it. Try launching an AWS instance. If you have not done it before, try creating a web page in that, the work which I done. It's a simple, you just have to Google it and you just have to ask, follow those steps, it is available. Try doing that on your own. It will give you confidence. Now, how many of you will be doing that? Raise your hand if you are going to do it. If you are going to accept my invite, or put in chat yes. If you face any doubt, just contact me through any channel which I have mentioned. Okay, I'll answer your query, I'll answer your doubt, I can help you out on one-to-one basis. That's not a problem for me. All right. If no question is there, I'll take a leave. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for giving so much precious time of yours from your busy schedule. And not everyone give this opportunity to all students that they can directly contact to such an expert. So I suggest every student to work on it. And definitely on everyone's behalf, I thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting. Thank you for patiently listening. If I said anything wrong or if I made any mistake in the session, please forgive me.
No, sir, please.
All right. Thank you. All the best.